This is live.
All right. You're on.
We're recording. Okay, very good. Well, welcome to all of you. We will have a few presenters who will introduce themselves as we come up. Generally, how this is going to go is we'll walk you through your role and responsibility in this big school night to scouting that's happening on September 26th. We'll give you a lot of details, a lot of helpful suggestions for what you can do to carry out at your own school. And at the very end, we'll have time for questions if you have any remaining. And then the very last thing is we'll go over here to these tables and you can pick up all the materials you'd like. This is all from the office, and the less that we have to take back, the better. So feel free to take all the Boys Life magazines and just rid our stock tonight. All right, so the first thing I'll do is I think I'll turn it over to Clint, and he'll lead us off. Okay.
Good evening, folks. My name is Clint Belly. I'm Los Fierros membership chair, working closely with that gentleman right there. That's why when I raised my hand and said I'd never seen him before, I was completely lying to you. Anyway, so the importance of recruiting. Look, we all know what scouting has done for our boys and for all of our youth that are involved in scouting. Why not take this up a notch and bring it to all the families in Long Beach? We haven't really done this in any conceivable time that I remember. So we're going big. Okay, it's a very lofty goal, but it's one that's achievable with some organization and teamwork. Recruiting new families also strengthens our existing packs, and it brings new adult leadership into these packs. And not only that, it reverberates on down. It provides our Boy Scout troops with further strength. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Dave Fisher here.
I'm David, and I'm a fool for School Night for Scouting. Okay. Purpose of School Night for Scouting. Actually, I think actually, Dana, did we go one too far? What is School Night for Scouting? In a nutshell, School Night for Scouting is a tool that binds together the best recruitment resources that our council has to offer in the most efficient way, centering on one distinct night, in this case September 26th. These include well-timed media publicity concentrated on just one night, enthusiastic and well-informed volunteers, practical and easy to understand information for the parents, and it's all on the table over there, and experienced leadership. Next slide, please. The purpose of School Night for Scouting. First of all, we want to enroll boys. That is, we want not just a list when we get through with September 26th of potential new scouts. We want to actually fill out applications. Get those applications and those enrollment dollars in, not only for the boys, but also for their parents. We want to enlist parents, get them registered, and this will be the new lifeblood of leadership for our council, and not just for this year, but for years to come. That's how important this is. Reaching out to underserved areas, this is going to be a perfect tool to help us do that. And as I was saying, what we do on the 26th will have ramifications and positive consequences for years to come in terms of growing our council. Thank you.
Right. Slide. So, what is the goal of this? Some of you have heard of briefly this goal mentioned. That anyway, it's to put a recruiting plan forward for 74 schools, Long Beach and Bellflower Unified School District. And the goal here is to provide every family with the opportunity to join Cub Scouts. Now, I've been approached with the question, well, why not back to school night? Back to school night, we know it's tough. I heard that. Yeah, I heard some. There's a lot of other things going on back to school night. The other thing is we're offering this, we're selling this as go to your local school. In the case of my daughter back there, our closest school is not the school that she goes to. So if we go to her back to school night, we would miss it. So that's the whole reason behind this, why we came up with this. For those of you on the district and council volunteers, We will ask that you pick a location and be the one to run that event. We will also ask that you promote the event and find volunteers to help staff other locations. For those of you who are unit volunteers, we will ask that you to recruit at schools in your area and promote the event to families in your unit. I'm still on. So obviously tonight we're doing the training, the first training. We're videotaping it. We've also got a final training. Now you don't have to attend the second one unless you feel you need a refresher. I imagine I won't get too many of that, but hey. But get the word out that if folks haven't got to this one, they need to show up to one of them. Get this on video. And then we've got the final event on September 26th. Again, this is the second training session right here. About the same schedule, same format. Right? I will now turn this over to Dana Brown again.
Okay, so everybody has responsibilities here. If you're a unit volunteer, you attended your one training session, you need to coordinate with volunteers and scouts to staff your schools. Remember, one adult can't be with one scout, two adults, one scout, youth protection. A scout, having a scout present at the event will help the boys look up to the scout and will really motivate them more than an adult talking to them. We have district and council volunteers, some unaffiliated, and they're going to help promote the event, recruit volunteers, and staff the event. And the professional staff have really helped out. A lot of the upfront work that was done was by the professional staff, contacting the district, getting the promotional materials. They've really been helpful. Next, please. One of the key ways that we're trying to leverage promotional materials is by communicating this one single night in every elementary school. We're not focused on your path, having to market in your reach, your little area. We're marketing it to everyone. And we hope with this shotgun approach that will get more individuals interested. Now, we also are using promotional materials that are handed out in the elementary schools. One of your jobs as a school coordinator is to contact the principal, we'll talk about that more later, but to physically get flyers to promote the event out into the kids' packets the week before. So theoretically, we're going to reach every kid in Long Beach and Bellflower Unified School District. And then finally, peer-to-peer marketing. If you're involved with a unit, please get your unit to talk to their friends. It's bring a real friend night as well as back-to-school night. If your unit can have each boy bring one friend, think about the tremendous success we'll have right there. So we have incentives. The leaders, you leaders can offer incentives. If they attend this event, they will qualify for the recruiter patch on their uniform. If they successfully recruit someone outside of this event, boom, there's the recruiter patch. And for you, does everybody remember that buffalo patch on the front that said Roundup? We're going to give that to you when you come in and turn in an application. So there's incentives. Hey, here we go. And remember that when you recruit new boys, new adults come with them. New adults mean more people to help share the load. So, if you're part of a unit, 4 steps: get your unit involved, start peer-to-peer recruiting, explain to them the rewards for participating, and the rewards for success. The efforts are critical. Promotional efforts are critical. Start getting the word out now. Start talking about it now. Have your pack, have your scouts approach local businesses and posters in the businesses that talk about the event. Reach out. That's the best way we're going to make this thing a success. We've got posters, we've got yard signs, all kinds of stuff available. Take everything you want. Next. And so, the other things your unit can do, put out yard signs. Each individual can have a yard sign, nothing against that. The units can have the boys send emails to their friends if they're using them, or the parents can network with the other parents in the unit. Really, this thing, telephone tree, email tree, anything like that you can do to get the word out is what we're looking for. One of the key things is to advertise on the school marquee. When you talk to the principal the week before school starts next week, hopefully, you can get her to put this event on the marquee. Now, the first week is kind of out of the question. They got so much going on. Reach out to them and see if you can get it on the second and third weeks of school, right prior to the event. Realize that when people see something on the school marquee, they're inclined to think it's a big deal and show up. So be creative about what you do. Don't limit yourself to our ideas. Come up with your own too. The success of your unit is really at stake here. So, Mark? And now I'd like to introduce Mark.
All right, so the first thing I'll mention, to build off what Dana said, are these flyers. And in your packets, you'll get a sample of these flyers, but we ordered 30,000 of these. Craig's telling me to move. Better?
Maybe, yeah.
Okay. We have 30,000 of these that we're going to run. And so I mentioned that because we want all the youth to receive these flyers. What it does is it gives us a chance to put something down here, some text inviting them to our event. And what we've done already is that we've got approvals for Long Beach, for Bellflower, for ABC, and for Paramount. So we've covered all the school districts for you. You don't have to be concerned with getting that permission. We have that and we will run the permission for you. Now, on a case-by-case basis, what you might want to keep an eye out is if your school principal at your local school requires their initials. That's something that we don't know. And if they do, you might want to get their permission, seek their blessing for these to go out. But do know that the district approval should cover the entire school district. The second thing that we have found that's very helpful is when you get your stack to distribute to your schools, it's very helpful for you to make those in packets of about 20, paperclip those, and then take them in so that the front desk, they don't have to spend their time counting them out and putting them in teachers' boxes. You do the work up front for them, all they have to do is boom, put them right into the boxes, and they'll get out to go home. So those are the flyers here. Next slide, I think, are all these materials. Now I mentioned at the very end, they're preparing some bags for you, and I want to just mention very briefly what's going to be included so you have a heads up on what you're getting tonight. The first thing that we've provided for you are sign-in sheets. Just like you signed in today, we have copies here tonight so you can just run with it, put this out, and we have all the sign-ups included right here. The second thing we have is a welcome envelope, and these are very, very critical. What this does is it allows everybody, all the parents, to put their materials right in here, and then on the flap, it says my pack number is, my contact is, this is when we meet, and all the information that you're going to give them is included right here. It has information about the uniforms, about youth protection, and everything you cover, all the information is right here for them. The second thing that's very critical, of course, are the applications. So we're going to give you youth and adult applications. We've got mini mags, all right? We have something on the order of 12,000 of these things. So if you take 500 each, that's not going to dent us tonight, all right? So feel free to take stacks of these Boys Life. From personal experience, giving them out to both boys and girls, elementary school age, 1st through 5th grade, they love these. They love these. We also have our newest edition of our Scouter's Key, so you can take this newsletter with you. For the mini mags, we have some labels for you. So the magazines don't have our return address, but we do have our office number, our address, so that they can reference the mini mag and get a contact us. Of course, we have posters. So there's 2 different sizes, mini posters that you can put up for your displays. Skip that. We have some flashlights. Just like this model display here, we have a box of patches. Again, these patches don't have to go back to the office tonight. Get a bag, grab a handful, put all the patches in your bag, put them out on display, and the kids love it. With a picture book that you might have, put the patches out, put some flashlights out, they'll love it. Here's some sample patches that you can get. Now these I love, is that this is a half sheet of green piece of paper in there. Don't lose this because you can take 15, 20 of these things and give them to the parents for directions to our office. It has the freeways on there, it has the streets, has our hours, and whatever you can get, this is very critical for them to receive. Let's see, the last thing I have here, and this is the one thing that you'll want to reserve for those special den leaders. You know those parents that you're really wanting to get involved? we have limited quantities of these. That's why I mentioned that these aren't going to go to all the parents that come, but just those select leaders, and this walks them through what it means to be a den leader, what they do to run their den, what the Cub Scout promise is, the uniform parts, and all of that they need. The cool thing about it is right here is on the English side, you flip it over, and there's the Spanish side. Bilingual, right here. All right, so that's just a quick run through of all the materials that you'll get tonight. And I think next slide, am I turning it on to somebody else?
I think you're still on. Yep.
No, it's not.
Am I still on?
Oh, I'm sorry, David's.
I think I'm on
Okay,
now,
David's
Mark.
on.
Who's on first? What's on second?
You are doing a great job, Mark. As Dana was talking about promotion, diversification is the key to success in promotion, in promoting this event. But of all the different ways to promote, the most effective way by far is peer-to-peer promotion. When a scout talks to another boy at school, during recess, at lunch, about his experiences in scouting and all the great things that scouting has provided him, then that boy who's listening gets excited. And when that boy comes home, maybe also armed with a flyer, but when that boy comes home excited, what parent is not going to want to bring that boy and come him or herself to our event on September 26th? No parent is going to want to pass that up. And we know that when boys get involved in peer-to-peer promoting, we're 3 times as likely to get a boy at our event, at our recruiting event. 3 times, triple the success. Keep that in mind. And with that in mind, we have templates for visitation cards that boys, PACs can print out, and boys will be able to take that information on the card to school, just putting it in their pocket, giving it out to their friends at school, and spreading the word, spreading the fire about our recruitment night. Also, if everything else fails, just have the boy mention BBs and archery. And if BBs and archery don't get a response, have them say, I don't know, fishing and hiking. Next slide, please. Parents read these school newsletters when they come from the school and take advantage of every single opportunity to promote this event. Most principals are happy to promote along with us because they know that a scout, a boy involved in a good scout program is a better student. So any principal worth his or her salt is going to want to get behind us and leverage that mutual interest. You, Dana, you were talking about the school marquee, getting the approval of the principal on our flyers. All of that is possible, and many other creative promotional ideas are possible because we do have the support in 99% of the cases of the school principals. Thank you.
But while we do have their support, you don't want to take it for granted. Obviously, thank them. Thank them very much for sticking with us. A lot of them they could have said no, they don't. So discuss the specifics of school night for scouting. Meeting places, access, timing, contact information for the custodians if need be. Where you're going to be. Discuss the flyer process. Who will get them and when. The day of the week. And the dates you would like to send out the flyers. Get permission to have a table, such as we've got demonstrated up here, for back to school night. Get their permission for various promotional efforts, including posters, the peer-to-peer recruiting, which type, the classroom, the lunchroom, recess, assembly, etc., those kind of factors. Yard signs, if you're going to use those. School electronic newspaper that we were talking about was so valuable, and etc. Confirm decisions made. Keep them in the loop. Keep them informed. That's the way we want to stay on their good side. And again, thank them for their support.
Okay, now, I understand this is a lot of information. Don't worry, we got a volunteer handbook for you that draws out the timeline. It's got checklists, it's got tasks. We're gonna hand that out to you next. So, I know it seems intimidating, but it's just a process and follow it. So, this checklist, the principal visit, those are in your volunteer handbook. So we'll just go over them briefly now. Before the recruitment night, you need to be prepared. Get your materials here, get your uniform cleaned and pressed, get a haircut, whatever you need to do. Review your volunteer handbook, think about your agenda, talk to your volunteers about dividing up the tasks. There's no wrong way to do it, you know. Next slide, please. As we've shown you here, a table with a tablecloth on it, a patch blanket, posters, unit-specific informational flyers. Now, this is really key. We have someone show up to the event. If we can't connect them with a unit, a time, a meeting place, a date, if we can't give them information about the leader, his phone number, we need to connect them with the schedule for your unit. If you're going to recruit people, give them the materials so they understand where they go, who they talk to, and what they do. Introduce them to your program a little bit by talking about your schedule. There's a lot of things you can do, but once you've got them in there, you've got to keep their interest, you've got to supply them with the right information. Next. This is a list of the basic materials. You've heard most of it already, the sign-in sheets, things. Bring some pens, bring a stapler. You're going to need that. You might want to bring some change. People will show up and maybe they don't have the right change. Be prepared to take the money. Be prepared to get the application signed. Be prepared to close the deal that night. Okay, next. So, at the event, this is intuitive. Arrive early, get everything set up, have it arranged, talk to your volunteers, talk about expectations. You're the one signing in at the table. You're the one roving around talking to the parents. You're the one that engages the boys in an event. We take plastic bags, plastic flags from Home Depot, tie strings to them, and a clothespin. The kids have a parachute. Take a box of soda straws and some paper clips and some office clips. Have the boys make a tower. Do an event that engages the boys. While the boys are having fun, go up to the parents and say, you know, here we are, let's get them involved. Bring the message out. Divide it up. Brian Morrissey and I had an effective team that way. He can really keep the boys engaged. Someone that engages the boys after you finish spreading the hot air at the parents. The parents are going to leave unless the boys are interested. So this last part of the meeting, close the deal. Try to close the deal. Okay, next one's yours, Clint.
Yep.
So the agenda for that night, all right, sign in all your guests. Introduction of scouting by the volunteers. A pack presentation by the unit. You know, something that maybe your pack does unique that really lures in the boys. You know? So what would you do if they were just coming to visit your pack? You know? Youth activity, what we were talking about before. Get the kids engaged, because if we get the kids engaged, it's all that much easier to sell for the adults. I mean, what adults going to say? Nah, I don't want my kid to have fun. You know, it's not going to happen. All right, the registration. Fill out the application. Pay the fees that night. Distribute information sheets. Aside first. Outline of the event number 1. All right, people who arrive, you sign them in on a time on the sheet there. We'll make sure everybody gets credit and get their contact information. Take youth and adult applications. Review the parents' guide. Distribute pack activity calendar and meeting schedule and contact information. That's provided there's a pack that's in the area where you're going to be recruiting at. There may not be. So we want to get it as close as possible. If not, then maybe, you know what, maybe we get enough kids that night at that location, we can talk about forming a pack there. That's also an option. Meeting start and call to order, and introduction of scouting goals. Number 2, all right. Pack leader will present the info. So pack, if we've got a pack leader at those locations, if not, you know, like I think where I'm signed up, I don't have any pack volunteers for that location. It's going to be on me and Richard Feinberg, wherever he is. So, but we could discuss what a normal pack would do. If you're going to be on that scene and you are a pack leader, then discuss what you would do throughout the year. Make sure to include your meeting locations and times. I mean, that's kind of basic stuff there, but we'll make sure that they leave with that information so they can continue this process. Show photos of your pack activities and bring examples of Cub projects. Another good way to engage the kids. Get them excited about what Cub Scouts do. All right. Have the activity for the youth. Again, we're stressing that again. Get the kids involved. We get the kids involved. This, like again, it's an easier sell. All right. Scout songs. We can't have scouts at every single place. But hey, if you know a scout, you know a scout song. I mean, liven up with it. You know, a scout game. Have them earn their first belt loop, maybe. You know? Those are some ideas. With that, I'm going to turn it over to David.
Okay.
By the way, David,
Yes.
what do you do in scouting? You didn't introduce yourself, I don't believe.
Well, I'm actually a den leader of Pack 360. I'm a Webelow 1 this year. And then I'm also a new member, district committee member. I'm a membership for Polaris.
I was going to say, he's my counterpart. So this, you know, not to get off topic, but this is bigger than just a district, right? Bigger than just packs and troops. This is a council thing, trying to raise our numbers for everybody.
Okay, conducting the recruitment night. You can pretty much read this for yourselves. It's, you know, welcoming, opening flag ceremony, introduce pack volunteers and Boy Scouts, and provide an overview of purpose. We're going to talk about purpose in just a second. But what I want to stress from this slide is the opening flag ceremony, but done by Boy Scouts. Uniformed Boy Scouts will go 1,000 miles more than uniformed adults in impressing parents and also impressing the children who come, the boys who come to the event. So from this slide, what I want you to take away from it is uniformed Boy Scouts. They're an essential part of the night of September 26th. Please, if you forget every single thing from this slide, remember to bring your uniform Cub and Boy Scouts. And Dana was mentioning that when they bring from peer-to-peer promotion, when they bring boys, they get their recruitment patches, and that's a great incentive for them. So next slide, Dana. Purposes. I promised you we'd talk about purposes of Cub Scouting. Give a quick overview of the purposes. You don't have to belabor all the points, and I'm not going to sit here and read, word for word the entire list, but I do want to stress, probably from this list, the most important part is character development. Character development will pretty much, if you're a Cub Scout leader, or if you were a Cub Scout leader, you'll know that character development pretty much covers everything else in that list, except, of course, fun and adventure. So we stress the character development because parents are most interested in that. What character values my scout going to learn in your pack? And then the fun also draws the parents in because, of course, as we were speaking about before, what parent doesn't want to have their child have fun? And, of course, fun also is what boys are all about. So they'll be drawn in by